So today we're going to talk about how to get over an ex, even when you're obsessed with them. You're still obsessed with them. Okay. Now, before I get into this, some of you might think this is related to my own personal experience, the relationship that just recently ended for me with Marie, and that I might be talking about myself. Now, to some degree, I might be talking about myself, but let me be clear about something. I am not obsessing about this relationship. I might be talking about it because I think it's important to share some of the experience that I have, but I'm not obsessing about it. And I want to be clear about why I'm not obsessing about it, because this relates to this video. I never gave my power away to this other person. I think women and men have a tendency to give their power away to another human being. And that is one of the primary reasons why it's very difficult to move on after the ending of a relationship, especially even if it's a treasured relationship. And in a moment, we're going to talk about when is the right time to date when a relationship ends, okay? And is there really such a thing as a right time? Okay, but I want to let you know I'll be talking about that in a moment. Now, let's examine why why anyone might be obsessed about a past relationship. And I took some notes, so just let me look down because I don't, folks. I just want you to know there's nothing easy about shooting these videos. There's a trillion bits of information out there, and I probably can only barely scratch the ant's belly. So let me just say that sometimes I have to look at notes. Let's examine why you might be obsessed. You're thinking about the ending as if they did something wrong. You're hyper focused on what they did. And you revisit the bad aspects or the unhealthy aspects of the relationship, and you blame them for the ending. You are blaming them for the ending. And all the focus is on him. It's like the idea of pointing the finger at someone. You're pointing the finger at someone, but just remember there's three fingers coming back at you. So what oftentimes happens is and I've done this too, so I'm not immune to this, but we've hyper focused on what was wrong, what was bad, what was unhealthy. And I think it's our brain's way of rationalizing this experience to protect ourselves, to emotionally protect ourselves. Whether right or wrong, I do believe the ego has this insidious way of creating a rationalization. Okay, rationalization, rationalize, Lies. It lies to ourselves. Okay. And someone might even be angry towards the other person. You're just obsessing about it. You're angry at them. They hurt me. They hurt me. They hurt me. They did this. They did that. Now, what's interesting is when you examine the ending of a relationship where someone feels hurt and they're obsessively talking about their ex, I'm always wondering, why did you stay in this relationship if it's so miserable and it ended? Why isn't the ending a relief? I want you to think about this for a moment. It's a miserable relationship. You're unhappy. There's all these bad things that went on from literally day one, and you're not feeling a sense of relief. I don't understand that. And I think this happens to be for a couple reasons. I think first, there's this sunk cost that you have in a relationship. You've invested all this time in a relationship. You've invested so much time. It's like buying a stock that keeps dropping in price. And then you buy some more stock to dollar cost average it. If anyone's familiar with dollar cost averaging, I'll just give you a quick synopsis of this. You bought a stock for you bought 100 shares for $10 and the price of the stock drops. So you buy, drops in half. So you buy another 100 shares, and now instead of your cost basis as being $10 and it dropped to $5, you buy another 100 shares. It's now $7.50. You're still behind, but you're not as behind as much. And I think we humans do the same thing in relationship. We give more in a relationship when it's in a decline, and we have so much invested that we don't give up on a stock You know, it's like poker. I was playing poker with the guys last night and I had a hand that was like, oh, it was a mediocre hand, but I kept throwing in more money, just hoping that something would change. It wasn't a good strategy on my part. And I think we just humans have this natural capacity to invest more. And then when you think about it, this relationship ended. And so you have this sunk cost. I think the other reason why we might get angry is that it's really we're angry at ourselves. We're angry at the fact that we stayed in a relationship too long. We're angry at ourselves for choosing this person. We're angry at ourselves because we didn't speak up. We didn't establish boundaries. We didn't ask for our needs met. And yet the anger is towards them. But I think what's really going subconsciously is we are angry at ourselves. Now, let me be clear about something, folks. In this particular case, I'm not talking about, Marie and I's ending. I just want to be clear about that because I know I'll get the comments. Are you talking about yours? No, I was actually thinking about my previous significant relationship. Oh my God, I was obsessing over it. I was blaming her. I was taking no accountability of what happened. I was obsessing. And if you're reliving an experience repeatedly, I think I want to be clear for everyone. If you're rethinking an experience over and over again, and it's true obsession, it might behoove you to go see a therapist. It might behoove you to see a professional, a true professional to work on the anxiety. Because in the personal development, self-help, and spiritual realm, in the self-love realm, by the way, I wrote a book about self-love called What the Heck is Self-Love Anyway? A Journey of Personal Development, Self-Help, and Spiritual Work. There's a link below to all, in the description of this video, there's all these links I talk about, even the links to schedule coaching with me. It's right there. In the personal development, self-help, spiritual world, if anyone's familiar with like Abraham Hicks or Joe Dispenza or Wayne Dyer, just to name a few, we have this power within us. We have this incredible power to reframe our thoughts. We can reframe our thoughts. And I'm going to give you a tool in a moment to help you with this reframing. We can begin to reframe our thoughts to exit the obsessive piece and reestablish some new thoughts. I call this exercise Flip It. But it's looking at this experience that you're angry about and you're blaming about and finding the mirror opposite from the negative point of view and finding the positive aspects of it, of this relationship. This requires really being introspective. The problem with being introspective is that, and I'm going to get into this deeper in a moment, it really requires some true introspection. And one of the things I think it's critically important for everyone to learn about is love attachment style and imago. IMAGO. Can someone write that down? IMAGO, imago. If you're not familiar with the work of, here's a couple books I highly recommend getting. Love Attachment, Attached by Amir Levine and Rachel Heller. There's a link below. The book Getting the Love You Want by Harville Hendricks and Helen Hunt. The book Wired for Love by Dr. Stan Tatkin. I did an interview with him on my channel here, so you can look for that interview. We talk about this, but first it's important to identify, is this obsession related to an attachment to this person? So it could be love attachment, okay, which is basically, if you're not quick scenario, anxious, avoidant, and secure. Anxious, avoidant, and secure. Many of us who are anxious attachers like myself, I'm a recovered one. I have recovered from being that. I'd like to think I've now established in a secure place in my life, but I still have the default of anxious. And you're with an avoidant. These are people that are typically emotionally unavailable. They're emotionally constipated. They struggle expressing their emotions. They deeply want love, but they're struggling in that capacity. And so it's good to understand love attachment style as imago. These are for those really contentious relationships. I think some of our karmic relationships, the imago is usually we choose a partner who's like one or both of our primary caregivers, our parents. And the more contentious it is, the more contentious, most likely, your relationship was with one of your both of your primary caregivers, parents, grandparents, that sort of thing, aunts, siblings that might have taken care of you. I think when there's a lot of drama in the relationship, this is reliving a past experience from our childhood. Okay. Now, the other attachment that happens was we're attached to the fantasy. This is where I'm kind of guilty of this, folks. I think to some degree, I was attached to the fantasy of the future. You know, there's a fine line between being stuck in the past and fantasy of a future and being present, because, you know, they're all kind of in the I was watching Star Trek Discovery, you know, time is kind of an illusion, but all of these are happening simultaneously inside of our head, the past, the present, the future. To some degree, folks, I want to be candid with you. I did get attached to the future. I'm at midlife, there's a part of me that doesn't, folks, does anyone feel like dating sucks? Raise your hand. Just write it in the comments. Dating sucks. Okay. Now, folks, it's important to say dating also has some pure benefits and joy, and it's part of the process. But the idea of going back out there and dating again does suck. I'll just own it. And I was certainly attached with growing old with somebody, but I wasn't obsessively attached. I certainly desired it. Okay. It didn't come from a place of desperate need within myself. It was a desire. But I desire lots of things. I desire to fly on a private jet. I desire living, in one of those bungalows in the Maldives or something like that, over the water. I desire a lot of different things. And they're healthy. Sometimes I have healthy fantasies. Sometimes I have unhealthy fantasies. But I think sometimes we get so obsessed and attached to the future that it makes it difficult to letting go. I think the other thing is we have to recognize that we can have a chemical bond with another person. We can have a chemical bond. Hey, that's why it's called chemistry. It's chemicals being released from our brain, particularly oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, testosterone, estrogen. We could have a chemical bond with another person. And the other thing is we don't like being alone. I'm by myself now. I mean, imagine I was with, someone, and imagine for you, you've been with someone for a long time. You communicate every single day. You're seeing each other every single day. You're shifting from a we to a me can be a little bit disconcerting. So I think one of the things is I'm grateful prior to meeting her, I learned how to enjoy my own company. See, I think this is one of the reasons, if you've learned to enjoy your own company, then you won't overly get attached to someone. You won't, but the fact is, if you don't enjoy your own company and now you're alone, you might obsess about this person because it's the last person that you felt this, oh my God, Jonathan, I had this amazing connection with them. I mean, oh my God, it was so off the charts. Except there was this bad thing, 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 this bad thing. But I'm really, it was so great. Here's the thing, how to get over your ex. Some dating coaches will tell you, just go live your best life. Show him your best life on social media. God, I see this on so many, YouTubers talking about live your best life. The reality is it requires inner work. By the way, live your best life all day long. Fill your love cup in all day long. Do that whether you're in relationship, you're not. But inner work is how we get over an ex. And I always invite everyone to answer these 4 questions. And then we'll talk about when is the right time to date. These 4 questions. What positive things about yourself did you learn in this relationship? What positive things about yourself? Did you shift from being an anxious attacher to a secure? Did you learn to speak your truth in a kind manner? Did you set boundaries? What were the positive things you did or learned in this relationship? Also, the second question is, how have you healed from this relationship? I truly believe I healed my anxious, attachment style. I really do believe I'm a reformed person. Is there a default? Probably. But I certainly feel like I feel strong about that. I could be fucking gaslighting myself for all I know, but I feel strongly about that. Number 3, what was good about the relationship? Really visit the good stuff in the relationship. When we obsess about all that's wrong, if you make a list of all that's wrong and you're thinking about it, and you're thinking about it, and you're thinking about it, why not put a list of all that was good? Not that I want you to obsess over good, but stop this conversation of the bad, 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 and start thinking about what was good, because we have the power to change our thoughts. And lastly, what are you most grateful for? I'm so grateful she came into my life for a variety of different reasons. She got me out of my shell. She encouraged me to be a little bit, more professional, although some people don't think I am because I curse on videos. That's so unprofessional. Listen, folks, I use humor, expletives, sometimes to enhance a sentence, okay? But there were so many things I'm grateful for her. And, I truly wish her the best. That's not number 5, but I invite you all to wish the other person well-being. That's just the compassionate, I would think that's what Jesus would do, He'd love the person that even would, that hurt them, so I invite you to wish them well. So when is the right time to date? That's a great question. The right time. When are you ready? Folks, I want to say something. Someone just asked me that, Jonathan, when, you're not ready to date, I'm like, no fucking way. I was so ready to be in a fully committed relationship before I met her. That hasn't changed. I'm fully ready to be, I'm ready to be in a fully committed relationship with someone. Am I obsessing about it? You guys are going to say I am because I'm talking about her, but no. I've done the work. I've done the inner work. I work with a coach. We've processed a lot of stuff. I've spent a significant amount of time in a short period of time processing all of the things, the things that, and I vented and I cried. Guys, I cried. I was sad. I cried when Connor passed away. Folks, if you're not familiar, I lost a child 5 years ago. I can't even count the amount of hours I cried. At the same time, I made a conscious choice. I could grieve with suffering or I can grieve with love. And why I'm sharing this to you, when you've gone through some significant hardship in your life, and believe me, I've had a couple perfect storms, it feels like, in my life. When a relationship ends, it doesn't mean the end of the world. The sky didn't fall. Inner work. So when is the right time to date? I think when you're no longer pining for the other person. I don't think it's predicated by time. I mean, emotionally healthy person could be ready to date in a couple months, okay? If they really have done the inner work, they could be absolutely, because remember, I was ready to be in a fully committed relationship before I met this person. And by the way, for a long period of time, I wasn't. I was a spender. Now I've established myself as a grower builder. I don't pine for this person, okay? And they don't have my power. That is certainly, so if you're crystal clear on your intention that what you want, you're no longer pining over someone. They no longer have your power. You're no longer dependent upon them. It doesn't mean that there isn't going to be residue from your past relationships, folks. I have residue from my ex-wife. I have residue from my significant relationship. There's residue. But that residue doesn't define me. And I want you to really think about it. You might have a little bit of residue. That's okay. There's no such thing as readiness. There's just, I like the way Abraham Hicks says it. I'm ready to be ready to be ready to be ready. I'm ready to be ready to be ready to be ready to be ready. See, because once you're in, then you got to really step up. That's really, do you have when you're ready to step up, that's when you're ready. But if you're focused on the past, if you're obsessing about a person, if they still have a charge for you, and I got to tell you, many of you are suckling on the nipple of victim consciousness. I was with a narcissist and he did all these bad things, and not to suggest that's it couldn't be a horrific experience. Heal from that, okay? If you constantly are talking about it, then you're reliving it. Remember, we talked about if you're reliving the negativity and you're hyper focused on them, narcissist, and then you put yourself out on a dating site or wherever, the next person is going to be a narcissist by default, even if they're just, a slightly self-centric human being. Listen, I share my perspective, okay, for everything. I share it from my own experiences, partly because what I'm learning through my experiences, I just pay it forward by passing on what I learned, okay? I mean, to the extent that I'm an expert, I don't believe there's anything, there's all these people who are experts. Sure, there are people that have a knowledge base greater than yourself, and it's an invitation to investigate it. There's nothing wrong with obtaining knowledge, but there is no one size fits all. This whole thing, when they talk about men do this and you do this and women do this and all, there's not one size fits all. You can't quantify most of this shit. You just got to figure it out for yourself. That's the journey of life. Just figure this shit out. Try to have a good time while you're at it. Life can be a fun experience if we don't take it so seriously. What was it in the Batman second movie with Christian Bale? Heath Ledger, why so serious? When we can actually laugh at ourselves, but more importantly, we can just love ourselves, even through all this shit. Anyway, is this sinking in? Is this resonating? Please let me know. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Post a comment below. If you have something to share, I do my best to read them all. If you found value in this video, please hit that like button. Please share this video. Please subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can be notified of new videos. All right, it's time for questions. Those who know my format know. If you have a question, write the word question, then post the question thereafter. Or you can purchase a super sticker, super chat. All of the monies from the super sticker, super chat goes to a scholarship fund in the name of my son, Connor Asley. He's right there with his brother, Colin. He's the one who passed away 5 years ago. In his honor, I donate to causes like the Hoffman Process and Insight Institute. So let's try to collect $50 today. Let's try to collect $50 today. So there's a little dollar sign in the chat box. Let's collect $50 today. I want to donate some money. All right, let's see what kind of questions we have. I did see one earlier, so bear with me. Here we go. I have no idea how to pronounce your name. Awashina Singh. What should I do? How do I start over after my boyfriend stopped talking to me over a disagreement? It's been a few months now, and I don't know if I should contact him if it's over before I move on. It saddens me to read this, to be candid with you. The fact that you don't know that it's over saddens me. Somebody has gone silent. They are doing what's called stonewalling. They've gone silent on you. In fact, a video tomorrow is going to talk about this in a little bit detail. My suspicion is that the relationship wasn't ever truly established to begin with. You might be in something casual. It might be a situationship. There wasn't a real establishment of the relationship. There wasn't any, boundary set. There wasn't any, those standards were discussed. The rules of engagement weren't discussed, most likely. By the way, excuse me for slurping when I do. I swear a little, you'll feel better. Sometimes, folks, I swear. I would reach out to this person and request an audience to have a conversation. You've been distant. I haven't heard from you. What's the status of our relationship from your perspective? What's the status of our relationship from your perspective? I still believe that we're in a relationship with each other of some sort, and I'd like to establish where you're at. I would get this person on the phone and have that conversation and find out what the status of the relationship is. It's certainly when someone goes silent, that is a clue that they're not really an emotional grown-up to be in a fucking relationship. That's such bullshit, pussy, cowardless behavior. I think two people, listen, folks, if the penis has gone inside the vagina on a regular basis, you have every fucking right to have, to be with an emotional grown-up that doesn't run away. It's one thing, listen, if people, sometimes people need to take space for a couple days. Okay. But you said it's been a few months. I'm not, I believe we have to sometimes take 24, 30, 36, 72 hours. That's not the end of the world, but months, that's just bullshit. Like your attitude should be, listen, okay, this sounds in contrary what I'm about to say is, but we have to go through the stages of grief. And sometimes you have to be angry at the person. What a fucking jackass, okay? Why am I accepting that kind of behavior? I love myself too much to accept that kind of behavior. Folks, when someone wants to end a relationship, it's a blessing. Because and why is it a blessing? Because I only want you to be with people who want to be with you. If someone doesn't want to be with you, you know what? Thank them. Quite frankly, I'm going to say something. This might sound cruel, but Marie has now created the room. I've got an empty closet right now. I have a walk-in closet for anyone who, wants to move into my life. There is space. There is room there. When someone leaves, they make room for potentially the right person to enter into your life. So I invite you to ask yourself, what positive things did you learn about yourself? How have you healed? What was good about the relationship? What are you most grateful for? Those are just some of the things, but yeah, reach out to them, try to do an autopsy and go from there. And if you want some support, schedule a discovery call with me to see if working with the coach is right for you. Ashanina Singh, thank you so much. Oh, Beth just wants to let me know dating sucks. Couple other reviews said it's the same thing. Let's see what else we've got here. Do we have any questions? If you have a question, write the word question. All right, TS is in the house. Is it better to try to date someone with similar attachment style? I believe I'm an anxious attacher. I've pondered this question before. So supposedly, I'm going to be doing a couple interviews soon about attachment style because I really wonder, being with an emotional avoidant fucking sucks. It sucks being with people that have difficulty expressing their emotions. It just does fucking suck. You have to understand in the early stages of dating, a man might express how he feels about you in the context of he's feeling good about you. You make him feel good. It's about his feelings. But there's a real turnaround when it's about your feelings. And if someone isn't able to express how they truly feel about you outside about how they feel, how it makes them feel about themselves, And this is usually in the early stages when we're trying to get laid. I mean, God, the shit that came out of my mouth or has come out of my mouth trying to get laid. Oh my God, you're the most amazing woman of my life. Oh my God, I see us married. Oh my gosh, I want to take these trips. I mean, the shit that the chemical cocktail of dopamine, the crap that would come out of my mouth. And then listen, the minute we have sex, I'm like, why don't I like this person anymore? And I'm saying that a little tongue in cheek, but it's true. It's called post-nut clarity. So I'm going to write that, post-nut clarity. Google that. I mean, I didn't know this until, I didn't learn this until years ago. So, oh God, I'm going off on a tangent. So coming back to, let's say, two anxious people together. One person is going to, it could burn each other out. So I think first and foremost, if you're familiar with your attachment style, you might want to do the test from the book Attached together. And really I would say, read this book together. But Jonathan, he doesn't want to do work like that. Folks, if you're with a human being who's not willing to do work to improve the relationship, you're setting, listen, most relationships fail and they are miserable. Choose people that want to grow with you, not that they just want to spend time with you. I could go on and on about this, but let me let more questions come in. TS, thank you so much for that. Hey, I want to thank Rune for the $2 super sticker. I also want to thank Annette Paul for the $20 super sticker. That means we're only $28 away from getting our $50 today. So thank you so much. Alexa just wants me to point out, I said he's a pussy and a coward. Exactly. Miss Moodley says, I was drawn to a toxic man who body shamed me and then complimented me. He always left me and I would always be drawn back to him. He only come back for sex and then dump me, telling me he loved me. What was it about that situation that had... Does anyone remember the movie Sleeping with the Enemy? I mean, it saddens me how we humans will take abuse in the name of love. Isn't it fascinating? What is it about? By the way, this all is the imago stuff. I'll read this. This is why, okay? Why you're choosing this guy, why you're into him is read this book. It's just fascinating. And by the way, I'm not immune to this. I've accepted some bad behavior in my life. I've given bad behavior. I mean, I'd like to think I wasn't overly egregious, but we're all imperfect human beings trying to do the best we can. Anyways, thank you so much for that question. Val says, amen. Thank you for putting that in perspective. Ms. Moodley, how do you let go of a man that disrespects you? You let go. You could block him on your phone. You could disconnect. By the way, folks, you have to disconnect from their social media accounts. Oh my God. I remember when I had a relationship end, I was constantly looking at her social media account. Is she thinking of me? Is she thinking of me? What's she doing? Is she dating someone else? Has this happened? Oh my God. You have to put a mute button on that, if nothing else. Those are just some things. But how do you let go? You declare. I declare first and foremost, I let go of this relationship. And then start filling your days and thoughts with new thoughts in your life. And little by little, this takes discipline. Folks, discipline doesn't care about you feel. But Jonathan, I feel the need to obsess over and over and over. Discipline doesn't care how you fucking feel. Discipline says, I'm going to do what's best for me. Tell your unhealthy ego to fuck off. I'm going to choose me. Make a stand for yourself. I won't take this anymore. I am letting go of this relationship and I'm going to start loving myself. Just begin with that declaration and then find ways, do inner work to love on yourself. Is this sinking in? Is this resonating? Please let me know. What led you and Marie to break up? Really quickly, I've said this in previous videos. She wasn't happy living in California. There was something going on emotionally in her life that required her to, she just said she wasn't able to give me what I needed in this relationship, and she needs to go find herself in a different way right now. Our relationship Evoked. What's the word I'm looking for? Our relationship opened up some emotional wounds for her. Not that I did anything. I'm just past trauma and wounds, and she wanted to go heal, and she couldn't be a real good partner to me. So that's kind of the gist of why. Hey, I mentioned Annette Paul gave us a $20 super sticker. Also, we got Claire that gave us a $20 super sticker. So we're only $8 away. Excuse me, $8 away from getting to our $50 goal. So thank you so much. Beach Lover says, yikes, Jonathan. I don't know what that's for, but Miss Mims says, I was broken up after 10 months due to the age gap. We are 14 years apart, but we did not have a significant relationship issue. He wants a younger woman and kids and can't see that with me. Was he younger than you? If you're 14 years older than you, guys, ladies, just be careful dating younger men who are in the bracket of potentially having children. They can use you for 10 months, get all the benefits of great sex, great connection and stuff like that. But when they want to end the relationship, they always say, I want to have children, knowing that you can't. That's just one example of the dangers of dating men that are significant or in that I want to have babies age bracket men. And those are men up until about age 45. By the way, there's a good chance he won't have kids. That was just his escape clause from the relationship. Okay. Oh, and here's Claire's $20 super sticker. So just remember, we're $8 away from getting our $50 goal. Allison wants to remind Miss Moodley, you need to reassess your self-worth. You deserve better. Folks, claiming our self-worth is part of the inner work. It's part of the inner work. You know? I'm going to recommend a book. I don't love all of it, but there are some parts of this book I do like. Why Men Love Bitches. There's things about this book I don't like, but I like the empowerment aspect. The bitch stands for babe in total control of herself. ES, babe in total control. That's what a bitch stands for. Beauty, babe, in total control of herself. By the way, links below to get all the books I recommend. I invite you to do the inner work. All right. Hey, we've got to give props right now to Miss Mims. $50 super sticker. Oh my gosh, that means we collected $92. Let's make it $150 today. So we need $52 more dollars. Thank you so much for the kindness. We appreciate that. All right, let's keep going here. Sandy says, thank you, Jonathan. It's nice to know I'm not alone. You're very welcome. Annette wants to let you know, Miss Moodley, if he treats you poorly, tell him you are letting him go because you love them and should be happy. Yeah. All right. What else do we have here? Okay. Mim says, yes, he was younger. Yeah. Unfortunately, listen, if you're dating someone, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you guys. This sounds terrible, but if I was in my mid-20s and 30s right now, I probably would have dated older women because the sex is great. You don't have to worry about getting them pregnant. They are a lot of fun. They're more emotionally grown up. And when you're ready to find someone to marry, you just go, oh, I decided I want to move on and find someone I can have children with. It's a great exit clause. Now, how often does this happen? Enough that I'm talking about it. I'm serious enough that I'm talking about. Is there exceptions to the rule? Abso-fucking-lutely. But this is the danger of dating someone younger. You know, usually older women, younger men in that capacity. By the way, Miss Moody says, my mom and I have a toxic relationship. Why do I draw toxic men? Please read this book. This will explain everything. Getting the Love You Want by Harbel Hendricks and Helen Hunt. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for all the work you do, Jonathan. I appreciate that. Naughty Kitten says, I think men like soft bitches. Well, we don't like drama from the book, Why Men Love Bitches. We don't like the drama. Well, some guys are addicted to drama. Oh my God. I know I have some people I know in my life that these men are just addicted to their wives and their girlfriends who are so fucking dramatic, because that's what's familiar. Their childhood was dramatic, So, folks, if you have a question, write the word question, post the question there after. Okay, I would like to see more questions. This person that's talking, Miss Moodley, obviously the focus is all on him. Okay, it's all about him. What I'm not hearing from you is you. See, folks, when a relationship ends, it's time to look in the mirror and say, the 4 questions I just posed for you earlier in the video, really become introspective. It's doing the inner work. If you're focused on him, you can't change the other person. Listen, it's like, what's the definition of insanity? Thinking about them over and over and over and over again. And somehow magic fairy dust is going to change this. Being an emotional grown-up means you got to be fucking rational and logical too. Okay? By the way, I know if that comes off harsh, I'm intentionally harsh. Sometimes it's like Cher in the movie Moonstruck. Snap out of it. Sometimes we need to be smacked upside the fucking head. A good friend will call you out on your blind spot. And this is the invitation right now. You're being called to snap out of it. Anyway, that's my thoughts on this, because talking about them isn't going to change it. Talking about you changes you. Start with, why did I accept this? Do the work. Folks, listen, we come back. By the way, I believe we reincarnate and do our shit over and over and over again until we get this right. We might do it 1,000,000 times, okay? I'm kind of fascinated. I wonder what my next incarnation of my life will be like. I'll probably be a woman. I'll probably be an avoidant. I hope well, that was an ego. I said, I hope I'm gorgeous. But, at the same time, what can I take from this life to heal me in the next experience? And it starts with individual healing. I truly believe that. By the way, if you have a personal question you'd like to ask of me right now for our last 18 minutes of this video, write personal question, and you're more than welcome to ask me any personal question you have of me, okay? Sharon Elizabeth's in the house, and she says, John, I'm new and need to unhinge from a catfisher on a dating website I stupidly fell in love with. Sort of addicted to the drama, 2 months long. Isn't that fascinating? This is a person you fell in love with in 2 months. It was an online situation. Isn't it fascinating how this happens? You've given your power away to another human being. Folks, it's insane. It's absolute insanity what us humans do. So how do we reprogram ourselves from, this? First is the wake-up call. You don't love this person. Would you give this person, if this person says, give me all your money, would you give it to them? I would think you'd do that for a person, you loved, right? Would you give them all your money? No, you wouldn't. I hope you wouldn't. But people will give their money away to a catfisher all day long. Why? Because we humans are fucking stupid. I'm sorry. It's being an emotional grown-up means growing up. Where's the book? Folks, you might want to read the book, How to Be an Adult in Relationships. You might want to start practicing some of the things I talk about: radical honesty, pre-qualifying your prospect, rules of engagement. But more importantly, you might want to stop practicing Text relationships. You guys, many of you are fucking suckling on the nipple of cyber relationships. It's not real until folks, until you've experienced someone day in, day out in situationships, in live situationships. Don't give your power away to another human being. Anyway, that's my invitation for you, okay? Thank you for sharing that. Let's see. Miss Moodley is still in the house, and she says, I accepted it because I have abandonment issues. My dad, someone died, committed. Well, it's time to heal that. It's being in a relationship listen, I highly recommend some deep therapy, some true introspective work with a coach. Do some work. It's time to hyper focus on you. If you haven't already, and if you have, then why haven't you healed it? I know it sucks. Sometimes there's not good therapists, but there's a lot of good people that can help you. Focus on you, okay? All right. Wendy says, I'm perfectly happy being alone. I've begun dating and doing the right thing to establish a relationship. And then his ex-wife started harassing me. I believe she is mentally ill. So what? I mean, you block a person from their life. You block the person. She might be mentally ill, but you block the person. You remove this person from social media, having access to you, block them on your phone. You don't allow them to communicate. I'm perfectly happy being alone. No, most people don't like being alone. I think it's okay if it's one thing to enjoy your own company. Okay. I enjoy my own company. I'm okay with, but I don't want to be alone, folks. It's human nature to want to commune with people. So if you are, listen, I want you to think about, are you perfectly happy sitting in your home all by yourself and not interacting with anybody for months or years at a time? No, that's a prison. And by the way, I'm parsing your words, okay? Because I truly believe what you meant to say is, I am happy with my own company, okay? But folks, I want to pick on this. It's human nature to want to commune with people, whether you're in a romantic relationship or not. It is human nature. So we should always strive to commune with people. I believe that that's healthy for an individual. Okay. Mimic says, funny question. Where do you find men age 40 plus educated business professionals besides dating apps? Go to business seminars and hang out at the bar. If you want to know where those people go, to business seminars, go to like money wealth building seminars, business seminars, go to those places. There are a ton of men. It's usually 80-90% men, or it might be 60% men. Go to those places and hang out. That's where they are. But Jonathan, I don't have the time to do that. I can't, I'm sorry. If you don't have the time to do it, then that's where they're hanging out. By the way, they don't necessarily make the best relationship prospects, okay? But just that's where they're hanging out. Jonathan, I'm awake. Did I mention I'm a blonde? Thanks for the hypertone. You're very welcome. Naughty Kitten says, I think it's a nice fantasy. Someone online tells you what you want to hear. Get out and find someone in church or activities, volunteering, hobbies. Yeah. Charity group functions are another things to do. Go to events that are about giving, of being of service, internet marketing seminars, just to name a few. Kate is in the house. By the way, if anyone has a personal question, write the word personal question. I'm willing to share these last 12 minutes of anything personally asked of me. What if a woman breaks up with a man? Will he ever come back? It's been 3 months of no contact. I miss him, but I think I only miss the dream of him. Please help. Yeah, by the way, if the woman broke up with the man, yes, he could come back. It's quite possible. Or he might say, fuck you. You didn't want to be with me? Your loss. But so what's the help? The help is focus on you. If you're the one who chose to end the relationship, then why did you end the relationship? If you miss him, it's because there was a reason why you ended it, and you're focusing on the loss and not the why. Be strong with your conviction. If your why was a legitimate why, then it's important that you give. By the way, let him go. You're hanging on to him he's got your power right now. Why does he have your power? Let him go. Let him emotionally go. Let him go find the right person for him. You weren't obviously the right person for him, okay, because you ended the relationship. So let him go find the right person for him, energetically speaking. That's the loving thing to do. That's what Jesus would do, folks. All right. Oh, she wants to just let us know we were together in a long distance on and off for 6 years. There was a reason why it ended. Focus on that. All right. Let's keep going here. Jeannie says, I don't want to be alone, but I'm tired of emotionally constipated men. I get it. By the way, you have a high probability of finding them. Most humans are fucked up. It's just a matter of degrees. You got to make some effort, but there's in the personal development, self-help, and spiritual realm, become what you want to attract. How are you mirroring what you attract? Where in your own life are you emotionally constipated? And heal that piece in your life. Don't you want to meet someone, fall in love with them, and go everywhere with them? If you're asking me personally, I don't know if I want to go everywhere, but yeah, I want to fall in love with someone who falls in love with me. Do I want to go places with them? Yeah, but I also want to be able to listen, folks, just to give you an insight into Jonathan Aslay, I'm not making this about me. I'm just sharing this for everybody. This is who I am. Okay. And tell me if this resonates with you. I hate small talk. I want it here, folks. Let me put it. Oh, shoot. Where is it? I hate small talk. I want to talk about atoms, death, aliens, sex, magic, intellect, the meaning of life, faraway galaxies, music that makes you feel different, memories, the lies you've told, your flaws, your favorite scents, your childhood, what keeps you up at night, your insecurity and fears. I like people with depth who speak with emotion from a twisted mind. I don't want to know, what's up? How's your day going? Did you have a good day? I hope you had a good day. I'm in the process of reading. My coach recommended I read this book. I've had this for years. Not years. I've had this for about 8 months. I'm finally going to, by the way, it's a tiny little book. I'm going to read this. It's a spiritual book. I have no idea what's in it. It's called The Prophet. Check out the link below to get all the books I recommend. But this is like next gen, kind of, spirituality work. I'm, by the way, The Untethered Soul is my all-time favorite. The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, my all-time favorite book. Anyways, Magic says, what do you think of dating coworkers? There's an old saying, don't shit where you eat. I would say it used to be 50 plus years ago, the number one place to meet your husband was at the job. And first, it was the small town you lived in, then it was the college you went to, and then the job you had. That back in the 60s. Just be careful. Sexual harassment, shit, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it can be a great place to connect with someone. So I just think you got to recognize, it's like moving in with someone, What happens if it doesn't work out? Do you have an exit plan if it doesn't work out? I think it's important to have those conversations. All right, Jill is in the house. A personal question. What are you doing to prepare yourself for your next relationship? Do you say who I need to be to attract my ideal relationship? Great question. So, folks, a couple things. I've done the introspective work. I've processed the ending of the relationship. And I feel complete, number one. I'm actively doing things like Catherine Woodward Thomas's The Calling in the One program. I interviewed her recently on my channel, Catherine Woodward Thomas. Next week, I'm going to Allison Armstrong's event called Freedom from Being Ordinary. I'm going to personal development workshops. I'll be going to Abraham Hicks in January of 2024 in Los Angeles. There's two venues. I might go to both of them. What else am I doing? I'm changing my habits. I'm changing my way of doing things. By the way, I haven't really gotten on the dating apps. I really don't believe by the way, listen, dating apps is the number one place people are meeting. I mean, over 50, 60, 70% of people are meeting through the dating apps. I'm not doing the dating apps. I have two things. I'm going to shoot a video on this. I'm in a state of manifestation. So one of the things I teach in my private coaching is creating something called your love mantra. I have a technique, and I've created my own love mantra, which I might share it with you guys on another video. Okay. This is a manifestation. This is an intention. This is a mission statement. This is a prayer. This is an incantation. I truly believe I will manifest her. And what I will do is she'll probably knock on my door. On human design, I'm known as a projector. So I need to be invited in. Marie invited me in, and I opened the door. I made effort. So I truly, and I also don't believe in dating anymore. I believe in courting. If I listen, 3 dates, first phone call is a date. The first meet and greet's a date. Then you have the real first date is the third time you're interacting with them. If two people are like each other, are attracted to each other, and they feel like they want to be sexual together, I don't believe in dating. I believe in courting. What I mean by courting is you have real conversations. You have radically honest conversations. You lay your cards on the table. You set the rules of engagement, and you do it with intention. You read my dating vows. By the way, there's a link to get my dating vows in there. I believe in courting, not dating. Dating is just a way to temporarily, it's like shoe shopping. Oh, I'm going to try on these pair of shoes and I'll walk on them for a while. And then, or I might take them, by the way, or I went to Nordstrom's, I bought the shoes and I'm like, I'm going to return them. That's the way. Dating is like shoe shopping. Okay. It's just like shoe shopping. Or worse, it's like going to Nordstrom's, buying the shoes and then returning them. Okay. After they've been worn. That's what dating is. Okay. Courting is intentionality. It's purposeful. Okay. So, but I have fully intent to manifest this person in my life. I want to be able to brag about this. I don't know. Is it going to work? We'll see. But I'm doing all the things like going to personal development where I'm going to the psychics and healers fair later on today. I'm going to a book signing next Tuesday of someone who wrote a personal development book. I'm getting out in the fucking world. That's what I'm doing, just to name a few. So Jill, I hope I answered your question. Thank you so much. All right, Coach Amy, this might be the last. What are your thoughts of being told that wanting the type of relationship you describe, which is similar to what I want, means you shouldn't need someone else to validate you? Well, I'm in agreement. You don't need someone to validate you, but it's good to be in a relationship with someone who acknowledges and validates you. But needing it means it's lack within yourself. Now, I'm a little bit needy. I want to own it. Is it the Leo in me? Yeah, it's nice to compliment people. It's nice to acknowledge people. It's good to validate, but you don't need, and sometimes we have to verify by the way, there's a big difference between validate and verify, okay? It is important to verify someone's feelings for you through their acknowledgement of you and the validation of you. We do need to verify this because why do we want to give our heart to a person who isn't acknowledging and validating our feelings? It is paramount for a healthy, happy relationship to have that going on. So anyway, All right, folks. Kate Greer wants to say thank you, Jonathan. I love your advice. I really do appreciate that, folks. I appreciate you all for your kindness, your care, your love, your generosity. I don't appreciate the trolls, um, but I do appreciate all the kindness, and I hope this resonates with you. I hope, by sharing a bit of my personal life, by being vulnerable, by being authentic, by being transparent, it opens doors up for you. That's my hope for everyone, that I'm opening up doors for you to do the work, just like I've done the work. And I'm still doing the work. This is a forever ending journey of work. This is why we come back and do it over and over and over again, because that's the definition of insanity. All right, folks, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this video. Please post a comment below. I'd like to hear your thoughts. And if you have something to share, I do my best to read them all. If you did like this video, please hit that like button. Please share this video. Please subscribe to my channel. If you want to connect with me, in the description of the videos, there's a link to schedule a discovery call with me, to join my private group called Midlife Love Mastery, to get my dating vows. It's all listed below. Check out all the content I have there as well. All right, I'm going to wrap up this video as I always do. First off, give myself a big, gigantic Jonathan Bear hug. I'm going to reach into the camera, excuse those armpit stains, and give you a hug as well. I'm asking you to turn to someone, a pet, a teddy bear, a pillow, and give it or them a hug of love, because hugs are a great source of love. And let's face it, we could all use more love in our lives. I want to thank Carrie and Mermaid Tales and Bee and Coach Amy and Miss Moodley and Sharon and Naughty Kitten and Kate and Bear and Pickles and Val and Jill and Kate and Linda and Lisk and Allison and Beach Lover. Everyone, big hugs. Have a fab day. Be well. Thanks. Bye now.